Holy guacamole, y'all. So I'm at the St. Charles Book Fair and it's at an arena. There is just so many cards. Let's see if there's any good stuff here. Hello. One day I will start these videos and it won't be awkward. So hello everyone, I am here with another book haul from a book fair, this time from St. Charles. It was back in August, 5 million years ago. Don't mind me, time doesn't exist. Now, first time going to St. Charles, and I will say it felt even more crowded than the Greater St. Louis Book Fair, believe it or not. And there was far more books that were former library books. So unfortunately they had those like really irritating big stickers that you can't really take off without ruining the cover of books. But
346 minutes later.
Okay, people, it has been a day. So started filming this, camera battery died, the Roomba started going, my stepdad who works from home was in meetings all day, so round two. Let's try this again. Book haul for you. So I have another book haul for you. I went to the St. Charles Book Fair and got 14 books for $9, so you really can't beat that. And I was pretty happy with the selection that I was able to get. A lot of new authors, diverse reads. My intention anytime I go to these things is to find unique, weird little books that I wouldn't have necessarily known to get otherwise, and authors that I haven't tried or are maybe a little harder to get. And so I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the books I got and call it a day. Enjoy! First, I was lucky to find The Spring of My Life and Selected Haiku by Kobayashi Isa, and he is one of the OG haiku writers of Japan, and so that was exciting all on its own. If this had been the only book I had found, I would have called this a win. Next we have Dear Cyborgs by Eugene Lim, and never heard of this, but it's about two Asian American boys in a small Midwestern town that bond over comic books, and the summary talks about how the author really experimented with style and the format of the novel, which I thought was intriguing, and for a really short book I was willing to give it a shot. The next book is Guitar Guitar by Vivek Johnbach, which is a common recommendation from Ariel Bassett and her podcast, Books Unbound. And it's about an Indian family that is poor but really close-knit. Their family suddenly comes into money, and what happens to the dynamic of this family once a lot of money is introduced to it. So I thought that was a really interesting premise and excited to try it out. The next book is called So Many Olympic Excursions by Annalize Chen. And the back talks about it blending elements of self-help, memoir, and sports writing, which is just a unique blend, and it's apparently in the style of like autofiction, which I haven't really dabbled with too much, but I've heard good things about. So Captain Pantoya and the Special Service by Mario Fergus Felosa. Forgive my pronunciation. But like, look at this cover, it's super dope. I've read one or two books of his before, and he writes a lot about people in Latin America, and he's got a really fun, quirky, surrealist sense of humor. And this one's about a captain who gets placed on a special mission, but that special mission ends up being taking care of a group of girls who are supposed to service these soldiers, and apparently some of the shenanigans that comes about from that. Then we have Farewell My Concubine by Lillian Lee, and apparently this is a really famous book out of Hong Kong and was turned into a movie. And like I said, I've never heard of it before, so it was kind of exciting to find these. I guess they're not small reads because I mean it was big enough to be made into a movie, but something that I wouldn't have necessarily come across or like had Googled because I didn't know about it. So exciting and not too shabby for the Midwest. Then we have Best Worst American Stories by Juan Martinez, and this is a short story collection that has some surrealist elements, it seems like, and kind of mix of humor and wit. It's crazy. It takes me a long time at these kind of book fairs because not only do I read the back, I oftentimes read the first page or two of it just to see if I'm still vibing with it. And they didn't have enough chairs, so I just ended up like sitting on the floor a lot. Or there would be a lady that is sitting in a chair and she has all her books in another chair, and I'm like, can you please move your books? My butt hurts. My back hurts. I just want to sit down. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. We then have Mad Country by Samrat Udaye, which is another short story collection. This is written by a guy who was born and raised in Nepal, and apparently a lot of the short stories focus on the intersecting of cultures, which is already very intriguing. But then it has a short story that apparently has to do with Ferguson, Missouri, which not the best reason to be known for Missouri to be known for, but it did catch my eye that Missouri was in it. And then just kind of, yeah, it seems like a lot of themes around race, class, and globalism. Then we have Mouths Don't Speak by Katia D. Ulisi. And this is about a Haitian woman who lives, I believe, in the US when Haiti is struck by an earthquake, and she has to presume that her parents are dead, and her kind of fighting the grief and loss during that time period. And I don't think I've read much either of Haitian people or by Haitian people, and so this is a good way to get more of that in my reading diet. This cover is pretty dope. So this is called A Record of a Night to Breathe by Hiromi Kawakami, which is the author of Strange Weather in Tokyo. And look how bright and colorful. Will it focus? Can you please focus? Are you no, focus. Yay. And now it's not focused on me. Dope. Okay. Can you? What's happening? Okay. Mistakes were made. So this is Japanese fiction, and I think it's 3 short stories, and Japanese are some quirky people, I have been finding out, and it just sounded so wacky. So like, for example, the first one is apparently about a woman that travels through an unending night with a porcelain girlfriend, and then monsters of the mist and a monkey who shows no mercy. Okay. Like, I don't know what to expect from this, but I think that's part of the joy of it, is that it's just going to be so out there. It's definitely not following a formula. The Japanese are not afraid to be weird. We have From a Low and Quiet Sea by Donald Ryan. And so this was maybe not the brightest idea because I haven't read anything by him, and I bought one that I had heard about and was recommended, but I haven't read it yet. So doubling down on the same author might have been the best idea, but I can't find his stuff anywhere. So for, I don't know, a buck, it just seemed good to go ahead and grab it. It's about 3 men, 1 from Syria and 2 from a small island in Ireland. And I'm pretty sure, Donald Ryan is Irish, and I haven't read a lot of Irish fiction, so fingers crossed. 4 more to go, people. We can do this. Next we have Sweet Bean Paste by Durian Tsukugawa, and look how just precious and cute this little cover is. Oh, beautiful. And this just seems like a really sweet, loving story about this guy who, a charming tale of friendship, love, and loneliness in contemporary Japan. And this guy has like a sweet bean paste, I can't think of the name of it, but like he's got like a pastry shop, and then he ends up hiring this older lady for help at the shop, and he's just like, she's old, can she really hack it? She's gonna be slow, she's probably not gonna be good at it. And then a friendship happens, and at least that's what I think happens. I could be completely wrong. That's just what I got from the summary, so don't hold me to it. But doesn't that sound precious? On Trails, an Exploration by Robert Moore. I love nonfiction like this, where this dude was just hiking the Appalachian Trail and got to thinking too much about trails. And he's like, how did they come to be? Who makes them? What happens to them? How are they maintained? And then he like goes down this rabbit hole and then writes a book on it. Excellent. I love it. I love it. Nerds at their best. So I want to learn about trails. Midnight in Broad Daylight, a Japanese-American family caught between two worlds by Pamela Rotner Sakamoto. So I thought this was a really interesting angle to World War II, following this one family divided, where one brother is in the United States during World War II and ends up enlisting as, I think, an interpreter. And the other two brothers are back in Japan and end up drafted into the Imperial Army. And really learning about this like big abstract thing that is war, but through this really small story of one family, I think it's just such a potent way to do it. And last, no surprise to anyone who knows me, King of Spies, The Dark Reign of America's Spymaster in Korea by Blaine Harden. I have maybe read 25 books on North Korea because I'm a weirdo, and I've actually read one or two other books by Blaine Harden. He wrote Escape from Camp 14. I really like his style of writing and learning more about North Korea. It's so weird, and like depending on the time period and depending on the angle and depending on the person, it just never gets old. There's just so much really interesting material there. Sad, but interesting. So there you have it, my insane book haul. I'm really gonna cool it now. I have to, because I need to actually read these books. And I'm excited to dive in, but it's great because then like I have a good selection of things to pull from in the wintertime when I'm too lazy to leave the house. So it all pans out. I'd love to know if you've gotten any books recently. Do you go to book fairs? I find them lovely but dangerous. As you can probably tell, I've gotten in a very short amount of time way too many books. And I apologize for all the light changes, but the sky is not behaving today. But God, do I glow in this light. So please like and subscribe. It lets me know I'm on the right track and that I'm not talking into the void. Thanks. Bye.